Hey everybody, what's up? Friday morning, my favorite morning. But whatever you might say, and whatever I might say, a machine which can play chess with people is one of the most marvelous wonders of our 20th century. David Bronstein was very interested in chess computers when they came out. He was very fond of playing against them, experimenting with it. I'm not sure that all players of the older generation, shared his open-minded attitude. Bronstein, very creative and open-minded person. He was a wonderful, wonderful, special, amazing guy. Okay, Acerbate, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, Sean the Sheep. Sean the Sheep. Are you a sheep or a sheep? Sheep or sheep? Eastern Europeans, they can't say sheep. They're like sheep. Sheep. Ship it. Alright, let's do it. GM Shaun. 7+5 rapid challenges. Please don't hurt me. Boom, little lag going on. Board lag. Laggy board. It's like my simul's when it takes like 5 minutes for the board to move, to open up. But if you look on server 1 millisecond, I don't know about that. The secret to chess is to be the first to break. Break it. Break it. Be the first to break. First break has an automatic advantage. It's like pool. Acerbate. It's a new quote. Chess is like billiards. The first to break has the advantage. I don't know, man. We're gonna try it. The elephant is my new fashionable opening. Elephant never forgets. Elephant memory systems. Do you remember that? Makers of floppy disks. In the 80s. Chess is like billiards. Bowling. We've also had bowling. I remember once the Elephant Gambit was played against me by a 1900. And it was a rapid tournament and I was uncomfortable, not exactly knowing how to deal with it. This is Elephant Gambit Jababa variation. Yo Baba! Sorry. Nothing personal. Do I sound good? I have a husky voice. Husky. Yeah. One of those kids who wore husky-sized clothes in elementary school. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Was a little chubby from time to time. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Jababa variation. Did you look it up? No Hans. No Hansing. He played d4. What's up with d4? That's the main line. So you found the main line. Wow, good job. You did that. He managed to find the main line. Imagine that. I bet he's going to go even further deeply down the main line. Although it took him 2 minutes. He got out the encyclopedia and he was like, oh, all right, elephant gambit, let's see. Gotta look it up. Oh, you found that too. Amazing. He suddenly knows the theory of the elephant gambit. They're thinking for like 2 minutes. It's kind of suspicious. But all right. Lakey, long time no see from the Lakey. Peter Lakey. Yeah, what's up with this variation? Wait a minute. This is right. Right? Astrobate would love this. You get to play like a one-move cheapo for white. Alright, he's out of mainline theory now. Knight c3 threatens bishop e5, so that's the main move. Does it bother you guys if I like rotate back and forth in my chair? It's like a distracting. Swivel, swivel. The wivel, swivel wivel. I'm tired, always. Old and tired. So what do we do here? The white squares are weak. I'm joking about the elephant gambit, man. This is serious stuff. I mean, you know what I'm doing? I'm not only like learning obscure gambits, but I'm also improving my playing in like tactical open positions and positions where you play for the initiative. I was never a gambit player, but I've come to realize that I'm quite competent in the style of play. I don't know which way to go here. Nah, that's a problem. I guess bishop e7, just developing. It's kind of passive though. You know, bishop e7 is passive. If I play bishop d6, maybe it enables me to castle kingside quicker. My king is safer on the king side. What would Yababa do? $50 on a4 from white. Interesting. It's not going to matter after bishop d6. I really don't know what I'm supposed to play here. It's a novelty, c3. Theoretical novelty. I mean, I'm sure it's been played on lichess. a4 would be subtle. The best thing about that is I could just play a6 and laugh at white. I mean, you know, queen e2 check is possible here. And we could get a possible transposition. Yababa had a very similar game against Benjamin Bach, where he drew an ending down a pawn, but white had like tons of weaknesses. Thank you, Uber driver. You did it again, dude. Uber driver loves like being spoiler, like handing out ideas to the opponent, like critical ideas in the position. Why don't you just like write it in caps, dude? Alright, we can avoid that though. We can play King d8. Even Yababa wouldn't do that. That's like one of the main ideas in the whole variation, Uber driver, but it's totally okay. That's how Bashar beat Yababa in this line, using that maneuver. But normally they play knight c3, bishop b4. Knight c3, bishop b4. Is that right? No, actually, yeah, I mean, probably queen e2. Come to think of it, queen e2 directly. Queen e2 directly, check. Alright, he didn't find it. Or he doesn't believe UberDriver. No reason to castle queenside if you don't have to. Yeah, I mean, you can do king d8, but I mean, that's just like, it's my crazy suggestion. Nobody's ever done that in like a real game as far as I've seen. Dubois is crazy, but even he wouldn't do that probably. Well, maybe if he was playing like a low-rated player, but the games that I saw, he always just lived with it. Okay, so queen takes g2. I hate to be a spoiler like UberDriver. We have to do this. We have to do what you have to do. We get our pawn back, and white can't castle. Ivy, YM. Now, wait a minute. I just assumed queen g6, but queen g3 has to be considered as well. Queen g6 stops rook g1, whereas queen h3 stops h4. Which is more important? Rook g1 looks nastier to me. Ivy YM, welcome. I said that already. I'm a little sleepy yet. I've been battling this cold for like 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. A common like cold virus, and it's like I still am not recovered after 2 weeks. All I do is complain. When did you get greedy? You know it's not greediness, right? Obviously, this is not about greediness. That is not a mere pawn, my friends. That is white's never going to castle kingside, you know. Very important strategic factor. The X factor. Paul Morphy would be happy with black's position. White does have a strong central pawn on d4, I'll give him that. But I don't think that offsets his dynamic problems. Coach Uber. He's using his time. He's not a speed demon. Maybe that's how he lost 38 games. I like how I criticize people when they don't use their time, but I don't give them credit when they do use their time, huh? I'm really nice. Basically, it's like a marshal. UberDriver's favorite player. Frank the Tank. C6 a little hesitant. Are there any Scandinavian players here who give me advice about that? Yikes. Bishop d3, what is that? Not me. I don't know what that is. And the great thing about Marshall was he contributed to both good and bad opening theory. He was totally neutral. He gave us like a good martial gambit and a bad one too. Or martial defense or whatever. Serious, efficient practice. White can castle queenside. No, you will not castle queenside. I said no. You will not castle. Thou shalt not castle. It was laid down on the... Oh my God, no. Ka-ding. Ba-ding. Ka-ching. No. Thou shalt not castle. Ba-ding. Oh, the elephant gambit. Thank you, elephant gambit. Shower the board with gold coins. Oh no. The first game of the day is going to be a good day today. It is going to be a good day today, I think. I have a feeling. All right. Yeah, it rarely starts like that. My official chess stats. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with playing autistic, Uber Driver. I've lost to a lot of great autistic players. Justin Sarkar brilliantly sacked his queen against me. No, what was it? No. What was it? He sacked 2 bishops. It wasn't a queen. Sorry. One of the greatest games ever won against me was an autistic guy. Most brilliant games ever. He sacked 2 bishops. Sadly, I can't find that game. He wanted me to get it for him, but it's somewhere. Alright. My official chess stats. Heroku. You know, you guys don't have to be subscribers to play first on Fridays. That was my usual rule. Yeah, I never really got into Marshall, honestly, Uber Driver. Heroku. But Chess Tats is playing another game. Play another game, Schnoofy. Uber Driver, if I was to say, do you recognize this? Play another game, Schnoofy. Would you know who I was? Do you recognize? Who am I? Really? Oh. Okay, you didn't hang out at the Boylston Blitz tournaments and Harvard Square enough then. You have to say it with the kind of female voice. I don't do female voices too well. Play another game, Schnoofy. Okay. E4. We can't do the elephant gambit every game. We gotta play some serious games too. Someone asked about Scandinavian though. Lakey, Psychic Network. Yeah, you put it in my mind. Oh no, not the Harry Lyman. You spent 30 years being a computer programmer. Sorry, bro. You know, I didn't know you were a computer programmer. I didn't know what you did. You know, all of us chess players are nerds, but I didn't necessarily peg you as a computer programmer. But it all makes sense now. I didn't know what you did. I never really thought about it. But we always liked you, Driver. I always liked you. You're a good guy. Uber Driver's like, he's got this cheesy grin on his face all the time. Kind of makes you smile. He brightens up a room. Data broker. He works for the National Security. All right. You were a data repository. You invented data repositories. Data depository. I feel like I'm playing it's basically the Mora Gambit, right? We have some compensation. But he has the pawn. What is more important, the pawn or the compensation? You guys know? Does anyone know? I have the pawn and the compensation. Oh my god, bishop e7, what am I thinking? What was I thinking? Queen g6? Queen g6 is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting or kind of stupid. I'm not sure. You're like lichess programmers. The ball says he makes bugs. Bad time management by white, though. This is a dubious gambit, but I think better than its reputation. The stuff that I'm playing today is okay for rapid. I wouldn't play it in a long game. You know, I wouldn't play in longer than 30 minutes chess. This type of full pawn sacrifice. Necessarily. Unless I was Igor Kovalenko. Did you know that they can make bread flour from mushrooms? Now, oddly, you guys are never going to believe this. I was kind of hoping he would play that. If my move was hope chess, this is what I was hoping for. I wanted to play bishop e7 last move, but he had knight d5 forking me. Fork you. Now what? f5? King h1 is a totally good move. No, bishop e6, he had a another forky on d5. Forky Marky. Well, I mean, it's hard not to play f5, right? But it's very committal. We can play that any time. This is a bit weird. What am I going to do with my other rook? Of course, you do it in the Mora Gambit, right? Rook fd1, queen e7, and rook fd1. I guess we'll save our other rook for like the c file. Not much happening there. Honestly, black has some compensation. It's probably not enough for the pawn. I don't like his bishop takes f6. We didn't even talk about this. But Heroku's like giving up his bishop for nothing. So he gives me back. He's giving me more compensation in a sense by trading off a good bishop for a knight. This is important though. I mean, bishop on e7 controls that knight, you know, the knight from coming to h4. I'd rather have my other rook on d8, so perhaps I should have played bishop e6 here. If I had it to do over again, I would have played bishop e6. Yeah, queen b1 is like very strange. I had another player play that same idea against me recently. The other day. Very early in a game. I mean, you can play like b4, right? Undermining the e5 pawn. b4. Bishop takes b4, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen takes b4. For example, bishop e6, b4. Oh, no, you don't. And this activates my rook. from its original square. Rook divation. Black has space advantage, despite being down a pawn. Rooks come in a cool new box. What about a4? You want to go? I mean, I could play f5 at some point. But he goes back to g3. Actually, can't count on that. I mean, he might now go to a different square, like c3. I can't automatically assume he's going to play. I shouldn't automatically assume he's going to play knight to g3. He might play f5 knight c3 or f5 knight d2 when I play f5. A4, b4, a takes b, en passant, and you know, if b4, take, rook takes a1, knight takes b4, no, bishop takes b4, knight takes e5. So this is an issue. This is an issue. Like he really has the idea of b4. I think I should play f5. You know, he has queen a2, Igor Foigl style, but Igor did that to me on the pier. I often reference that. It's such a weird maneuver. It's very creative, but I have bishop e6, so it doesn't really work here. It's not every day, like, you know, an IM, close to GM strength player, maneuvers queen b1, queen a2 in the opening. Not something he invented over the board, I suppose. Another Marshall contribution. e4, knight c6, d4, d5. What? e4, knight c6, take, queen takes, knight c3, queen takes d4, queen e2. Not a household variation. So white went back to c3, and you can see there are various fields, but white has lost control of the centrum. From A to Z, centrum. You know, we've got some central issues. He does have bishop c4 check, though. Don't want that to happen. So it's time. It must be time for this. Then with the idea of e4, it's one of those little triangle, right, in the informator, with the idea of e4. They're still arguing today. You're still arguing today. Queen e1. Looks like white's playing the Philidor now. Wow. e4. e4, chop, 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 chop. e4, chop, chop. And my e4 pawn gets a little squishy. Squishy, squishy. My rooks are on the wrong square. Man, e4 almost good. We need maintain our focus here. Focus. My rook should be in the center. Look at the control of the center. How can I not be good here? Does control the center matter? Is that important? I don't know. I'm down a pawn. White has more time. White's battening down the hurricane. Oh man, Bermuda's going to get slammed by 50-foot waves. Did you hear about that? 50-foot waves? Damn, dude. I've never seen a 50-foot wave in real life. I've had nightmares about stuff like that. I think much more common when I was like living at the beach when I was a little kid. I would have these like giant wave dreams. It's like practically a tsunami. That's a good thing about living in Hungary. We don't have tsunamis. You're watching from Zimbabwe, wow. We like never get anybody, almost never get anybody from Africa. Once in a blue moon there's a player from South Africa, maybe Nigeria. That's cool. Thanks for joining us. So I didn't expect this. I thought he's taking for sure on e4, but it probably doesn't really change the point here. Black's down a pawn, but has compensation. Well, what's my idea? What do I got? Knight e4, bishop d1, very important. He has bishop d1. So we have to be prepared, for the worst. He played that. I didn't expect that. Take. I don't know. I'm running out of time is the problem. I won my pawn back. Icebergs melt. Good for surfers until they're dead. Could be very bad for surfers too. All right. Good game from Hiroku. He hung in there against my dubious gambit, but it's fun. White has knight f3 here. I was thinking of sacking the exchange. Two bishops are pretty good. I really don't like the look of knight e5. I sacked my queen in the first game for mate. We've got the initiative a little bit. There's Uber Driver's favorite move. What did Magnus say about bishop? My rook is attacked. Thanks for letting me know. That is an annoying move. We're cutting it close here. Okay. That way. Oh, I never expected that. Damn it, I don't know what to do. I'm going to flag. I missed bishop e3, or maybe not. Just getting everything out of take. He's hung in there very well, I have to say. The important thing is we got our pawn back, and we're not down a pawn in an endgame. We have two bishops versus two knights and an open ending. Symmetrical pawns, not optimal for two bishops. Bishops do better with imbalance in the pawn structure. Objectively, I like this move by him. Whoa, that's very passive. Wow. You don't get an endgame like this very often. Watch for the fork here. Straight up 2 bishops versus 2 knights. I could have played bishop e3, but it doesn't win. He has knight e3. Okay. Wow, he keeps surprising me. I mean, I don't really trust his position here. I still don't want to give up my bishop. You got to pay a high premium for giving up that bishop, man. I don't know. I'm not confident bishop takes f3 is winning. Maybe, maybe not. You're not going to get me to give up my bishops that easily. I was really close to trading it, but it's just too much. It's too strong. Almost on a piece there. Check. Check. There it goes. Don't trade pawns when you're playing for a win. In general, he's defended really well. This is possibly a theoretical draw. I just don't really know. But it's definitely not easy for white. I could also drop a fork. Those knights are tricky, right, Acerbate? Wow, he's like trying to mate himself. That's pretty extreme. Literally trying to checkmate himself. Oh no. What if I play like g4 check, king h4, bishop f6, king h5, bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, bishop takes b2. It's over. Oh no, it's not over. He has knight c3. Oh my god. He's still alive after knight c3. He couldn't find it. It's the only move. So I'm not sure I'm winning by force. It's pretty close. I'm probably winning here at this point. But not immediately. Negative 6.2. 82% accuracy. Wow, he missed a win. He missed a win. What? What? Oh, I didn't, my combination like fails somehow. Oh no. He had a crazy tactic. He has bishop h5. Shit. Winning a piece. That's what you get. You try to play a 2-move combination and you miss something in time pressure. You had me. Yep. What happens after bishop takes f6, g takes f6 in the opening? Never even considered it. That's dumb, man. No, I like it, Uber Driver. It's interesting, but I would prefer if my pawn was on h7. You know, I would like it better if my pawn was on h7. I think in that case I have less weaknesses. I would be more apt to consider it. No, it's totally possible. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, actually, Uber Driver. It's creative. Now you're talking. Now you're thinking like David Bronstein. Voluntary double F pawns. That's totally a Bronstein thing. So who is this chess stats? They have games. They're not playing someone else. Okay. 7 plus 2. No, we need 7 plus 5. 7 plus 5. It's right at the bottom of the screen. Great game by Hiroku in general. It was really close. You missed the one tactic. You could have won. We both missed it. Dude, Asterbate. China is microwaving the ice caps to save energy. Use your microwave. At least they're not like, using coal to melt the ice caps. Climate conscious. If you're gonna melt the ice caps, use a microwave. The Great Solar with a 10 plus 5 rated. Alright, my official chess stats. 7 plus 5 casual only. Oh, that's you, the Great Solar? You're not challenging me to 10 plus 5 rated, man. I don't play rated. It just encourages people to go Hans Niemann. It's enough people already. Like, there's a high enough percentage chance of people cheating already without making the games, giving people an incentive to cheat. Alright. What do we want to play? E4, E5? Yeah, no. I mean, most people have it set. They have preset to play rated. It's totally... I'm joking around. Okay, Vienna game is hard. It's hard to play like a gambit or something against that. I'm in the gambit. I've been doing a lot of gambit chess, and it's fun. So I was never really a gambit player. But I like experimenting and learning new stuff. But against knight c3, I mean, what are you going to do? f5? I'll just play knight f6 usually. And we have a lot of games with Asterbate. Yeah, I mean, f5 is theoretically playable, right? It's interesting that Spassky played it. But anyway, he likes f4. He likes the King's Gambit. You're old school. You've been here before, Solar, right? Asterbate has a new variation. Almost nobody plays knight takes e4. It's not that bad for white. I'm old school. Super old school. Just old. A friend of mine sent me a chess photo the other day. The one I forgot existed, where I was like 17. It's one of the only chess photos, on the internet where I'm like pre-master. I don't think I had reached national master yet. 1990. I got the master title in 1991, like spring of 91. I was probably at 21. I was 2100 at age 17. I reached master at age 18. Knight f3, yes. Knight f3 is correct. It's a good move. Yeah, they play bishop c5. This is like the theoretical move. I think it's kind of counterintuitive. I bet that wasn't even a variation 50 years ago, because it's like, oh, white just plays d4. This is what all the top players play with black. Honestly, Uberjar, I thought you were higher rated. You were only 1900? I thought you were definitely in the 2000s or something. I didn't realize that. Did we only play one rated game or something? Is that what we said? It's hard to remember, but I think I only played you like once in a tournament game, although the game is totally not memorable. I mean, I played a million people. I was very active. I played like at least 100 games, 150 games a year. I don't know. I mean, I was playing a lot of club games. It's hard to remember all the games. I played G4 in a Queen's Gambit. Oh. I have no recollection of that. I was really wild stylistically compared to now. Well, that's the end of my theoretical knowledge on this variation. We have reached the end of now we have to think for ourselves. Wait's a little like overextended with the pawn on e5. Think a lot, think about all you got. But White has more space thanks to that pawn too, so it's not a simple situation. This is the kind of position where you probably do want to know more than like 8 moves of theory, because some ideas would be good to have. I don't even know which side to castle on. I don't particularly want to give him my dark squared bishop. I do need to develop. C6. This appears like a solid move. Solid passive. Or passive solid if you prefer. What's your style? I'm solid passive. Big Mike gave you the idea. You know, some people like Alex Cherniak used to play the white side of the exchange variation of the Queen's Gambit with like bishop f4 or whatever. You know, that's a normal idea in those lines, but I never played those lines. If I played g4 against you in a Queen's Gambit, it could have been like an opposite side castling. You know, I might have done it in opposite side castling exchange variation or something. Olar. Ula. Ula. ¿Qué tal? E6? Is that dangerous? I guess bishop e6. We also might want to be on the careful side here with h6, but that's very weakening. Bishop g4. I don't know, my official chess stats? Dude's 1400. So far, he's played perfectly. Man, I don't know. Bishop e6, h6, knight d7. This is kind of scary, actually. I'm not inclined to castle kingside. Oh, but he's castling queenside. Presumably White is like casting queenside. He's playing like really, really well for someone who's supposed to be 1500. Alright. But I'm surprised sometimes People can play an entire game like a master and then make one blunder that's so massive you can't even believe it, you know? This is my first time playing this variation with bishop c5. I've never played it before. But I'm not sure I like Black's game that much. No, it's a Vienna game. I didn't want to do this, but I might have to take on c3. This was not the plan. Bishop e7 is very passive. But I mean, it seems like white is better. Spatially just better. I don't think he's a 1500. I don't know what the deal is here. White has played virtually a perfect game. I don't see what queen a5 does, Uber Driver. He's defended twice on c3. What would that do? The perfect 1500. Alright. I have to castle queenside. I think I'm playing Hans Niemann. He's literally played a perfect game so far. He's just lucky. I guess you could get lucky for 13 moves. White is better, spatially better. I think it's more important than the pawn structure where he's worse. Not that significant here. His space advantage, you know, this is like his first mistake. Move 14. He voluntarily retreated his knight. Minor error. But it certainly doesn't like ruin his position completely. I'm not exactly sure what to do. Even now. What's his idea? Now he just totally, yeah, he played 13 perfect moves and then lost his mind. A queen g5, you think, was an idea? White had a serious advantage. I mean, I was in trouble here. Positionally getting squeezed. All he had to do was just maintain the pressure. Whoa. Now there's a passive move. I don't know, something went wrong in the opening. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure I really like the system where black plays bishop c5. The computer says that black's a tiny bit better, or equal at least. But it does seem weird to play bishop c5 and induce d4. It's the engine's influence. The opening has been, players have been influenced by computers to play this variation. The engine says bishop c5 is the best move in the opening. But from my perspective, it's a little bit weird. White is lost. That's what it says on the chess sets at Toys R Us, man. Toys R Us is dead, right? Hey, Fred Reinfeld wrote a book that says rooks are worth 5 pawns, but knights are only worth 3. He was close. Damn, that was a nice move. That was a nice defense by our hero. He moved his queen and got to play c3. Did I miss something there? He defends e5. I guess I could try c3 myself. Is friend Reinfeld? You might want to sign up for the next Capitol Riot or something. Alright. Rook takes e5, knight c6 check. Pawn takes. Knight c6 check. Pawn takes. Rook takes. I think this works. Of course, he can always play like Queen g3. Yeah, he's like very resourceful. Should have been lazy. Knight c6 check. King a8. It's a good idea. Welcome to the Uber driver club of spoiler club. I just didn't really feel safe here. I mean, there's like these, either way, he still got stuff, but yeah, a8 is the best, relatively safe location. Queen c7 allowed knight c6 check, which is annoying. I might even be still winning there if I drop back the exchange, but I don't want to find out. Yeah, this is a weird opponent. Very inconsistent. 1 minute he seems really strong. The next minute he's making like crazy, unsound sacrifices. But I mean, who makes an account called My Official Chess Stats? I mean, that is seriously weird. Or is it just me? You gotta be like a kid or something. He's got to be a little kid. No adult would make that their like name. My official chess stats. All right. Weird game. I want to know like what I did wrong. You know, seriously. I don't feel like the opening went right here. See, like this is the number one move. According to the computer, I mean. Stockfish says bishop c5, best move. Uh-oh. But it's changing its mind now. Yeah, I mean, I have to confess I didn't let it run. Maybe it's not the best move. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. Bishop c5, it's up there. Anyway, it's close. So I think this I'm gonna stay away from this bishop c5 in the future. I don't know. The computer likes it, but I just don't really get it. Bishop c5, d4, bishop b4, bishop d2, knight d2. Oh, you're not supposed to play knight d2. That's what I did wrong. Oh no. See, a little bit of knowledge can be very detrimental. I just couldn't resist taking that bishop on d2. Oh my god. So this is the whole point. I'm not supposed to play knight takes d2. See, a little bit of knowledge can be very dangerous. That's why you don't want to memorize openings, because like what happens when you get to the end of the moves you memorized? Here you are. I'm like, oh yeah, knight takes bishop, of course. I'm supposed to play c5. You have to understand what you're doing. I ended up playing a decent game, but he was better. Because this knight d2 is a bad move. c6. Do I hear c6? Number 2 move according to the engine. Number 3. See, white is better by almost a full pawn here. 0.7. I know, I could feel it. At c6 is the best move. Of course it is, because Slaggy has the feel. No, it's wow, a full pawn advantage to white. Full pawn. Best move for white. Full pawn up. Here I had no idea what to play. The computer, of course, is like fearless, wants to castle kingside. Maybe like bishop e7 realistically. But he can play h4. White's just better. I mean, it's bad. What's up, Bijak? Knight g5 is like engine. Top 3. That's when I felt I was playing Hans. Yeah, this is just unpleasant for black. Computer hates my exchange. I should have played bishop e7, but I felt too claustrophobic. So he's reached the pinnacle of his advantage, plus 1.6. Doesn't like queen e7, but why? Yeah, it does. All right. So I'm like, I didn't really make a blunder, but I'm negative 2, negative 1.5, negative 2.4. Yeah, man, I mean, he played perfectly. This is scary. Castle's queenside. He basically played a perfect game for 13 moves and then just retreated his knight to f3 for no reason. With a plus advantage. Why does it say 1.1 up here? And then it's like giving 2.6, 2.5. I think Stockfish is broken. Stockfish is broken. Queen f4. That's an engine move, if I've ever seen one. Yeah, that was really not good. Great Solar. Just to be weird, when everyone else challenged me to 7 plus 5, has to challenge me to 8.5. Just because you have to be weird. Was that like intentional? Or it's like 7, 8, whatever? Who cares? Or you intentionally want to be different? Who has a sunny disposition? Me? Who you played against? Oh, God, man. Get out of here. Come on, man. Give us a break. Uber driver. Been driving all night. Bad jokes. Can you imagine driving with the Uber driver when he's like telling bad puns and jokes the whole time? That long trip to the airport. No, I don't think this was ever played till Stockfish like invented it. I'd be very surprised. Look, I'm not sure, you know. I get bishop g5. I'm getting bishop g5 a lot. We're not talking about the Bijak. We're not talking about the Albin in general. He's asking about knight e7. You know, knight e7. This is a new way to play the Albin. We looked at this the other day. I can't remember shit. Bijak played this against me once. Yeah. But I mean, I played bishop e6 last time, but I was thinking, did the computer suggest something different, you know? Well, I guess the point is you could just play knight c6. That was what it was. There's nothing wrong with just the old-fashioned knight c6, apparently. That was... Okay, that's a new move. That's the first time I played this, I think. Against Bijak, I played bishop e6. Against another guy, I played bishop e6. But I think this was like, the engine just said, whatever, just play knight c6. There's nothing wrong with it. This is my first time playing this. You see, computers are having... computers, well, whatever. Chess engines, whatever you want to call them, are having an influence on opening theory now. As far as I know, knight e7 was invented by Stockfish. So they're now actually influencing chess theory. If the planet still exists in 100 years, 35% of experts on AI say that artificial intelligence is likely to cause a nuclear, or like the equivalent of a nuclear catastrophe. So approximately 1 in 3 experts on artificial intelligence think like artificial intelligence will basically destroy civilization. That's good to know. But at least, you know, maybe we can talk to whales for a little while before they destroy civilization. And we'll get some good opening theory going on. Hopefully, before we are destroyed. Okay, well, I guess now we go back to variation B. The Hans Lugi defense. Okay, now we take with the knight. Now we take with the knight. The great solar eclipse. Thirsty. There's those guys who who are like, whistleblowers claiming that AI is already sentient. I think they're just like in love with their AI chat program or something. But she's real. I'm sure that she's sentient. This guy's like a computer programmer who never had a girlfriend. Now he's claiming the AI is sentient. Yeah. Alright. Wow. Knight c3. Business is business. Because business is business. Now what do I do? Perfect. Drugi. Drugi always remind me of Drugi. Uh-oh, somebody's calling me. Who the hell is calling me? What is this? You again? Bocsánat, ki ez a csomag? Ki? Mi ez a neve? Nem jó a szám. Köszönöm. Wrong number. God damn it. The wrong number package. Not the first time. Alright. What are we supposed to do here? Don't fall in love with your AI chat program. Boogie Barbara. Boogie Barbara. That's not me. My name is not Barbara. I'm sorry, bro. Do I sound like a Barbara? Do I sound like Barbara to you? Queen A5. Damn it, Jerry. You know what Jose Raul would do, really? Do you? I sure as hell don't know. I was like, what is that ringing sound? Uh-oh. What is that? Once in a while, they like call my number for people that don't exist. I've had this number for like 5 years. It's kind of weird. Oh no, you didn't do that. You have a made-up language? You're pretending to be important? You gave me your dark square bishop. Oh my god. I was expecting bishop back to d2, playing off my queen on a5. But I think I can probably grab the pawn on e5. I wonder what Uber driver would do. Nah, this is a big blunder. I mean, bishop takes is a bad move. Okay, big blunder, maybe not. There's also a nice little trick here. Knight takes e5, bishop e5 check. c6. Knight takes e5, pawn takes b5. Black's nice and dynamic there. There we go with the two knights versus two bishops again. I had a game just like this against somebody else. just all gambit repertoire. I should make a chessable. GM Cagnus Marlson. Uber Driver, did you ever play Carl Magnuson? Do you remember him? Somebody just followed my stream named Cagnus Marlson. But I mean, we had a national master at the Boylston in the early 90s named Carl Magnuson. He actually claimed to have come on my stream a couple years ago, like 3 years ago. Just one time, you know, nobody's going to make that up, you know. He was like 2201, national master. But what a funny thing, like that, you know, in 1991, you're like playing this guy named Carl Magnuson, who's a national master. And little did we know, like, I don't know, 15 years later, there'd be a world champion named Magnus Carlsen. It's pretty funny. It's a weird, well, I mean, those Icelandic names or whatever, you know, not a lot of possibilities, really. Everybody's son of Thor or someone. There's not a lot of options, I guess. Thor Thorolson. Oh, he did play the wing gambit. I remember that, Uber Driver. I think he played the wing gambit. You actually know where he lives? Oh my god. He moved to Braintree and lives one street over from where my dad lives. That's why we called you the Braintree Butcher. Aw, Uber Driver, you're such a troll. I knew you were from Braintree. And you denied it at some point. Denial of service. You last saw him at my sister's college graduation? You saw the guy at your sister's college graduation? That's random. What are the chances of that? How many colleges are in the Boston area? How many classes and how many years? What's the chance that Carl Magnuson was connected to your sister? UMass. Alright. UMass Boston. Draco Fire. Guys, got 40 minutes. There's Cagnus Marlson now. There's a lot of those going around. Cagnus Marlson, Magnus Carlsen, Carl Magnuson. I don't know, man. 23-second ad? Do we have 23-second ads? Oh no. You're back. Good game. You had a good position, but you shouldn't play bishop takes e7. You need a permission slip to trade a bishop for a knight. Bishops are worth more than knights. No trading bishops for knights without a reason. You need an excuse. People too routinely make that exchange. I don't know. I'm going to be unoriginal here. I haven't played a King's Indian attack in a long time. I'm just feeling like playing something different. All this gambit stuff is just getting kind of old. This is my game with Igor Foigl, where I was black and I played g6 and Igor played d4. One of our many battles. I learned a lot from Igor. Second time I mentioned him today. You know, that was the great thing about like going to college in Boston. We had, and it's not true now anymore. It's interesting though, in the 90s, it was an extremely strong place for chess. There were so many masters in the Boston area. Not the case anymore. I was very lucky to be in a place where there were lots of strong players to learn from during that period between like 1990 and 2000, let's say. Regionally very strong. Maybe two is old school. During the most active period of my chess career, I was lucky to have a lot of strong players in the area where I was living, you know. To learn from. Everybody learns from, you know, the school of hard knocks. You met Alex Ivanov when he came to Boylston Chess Club. He said he hoped to become a chess professional in the US. I was really thinking of inviting Alex to go to the World Senior Championship. He would never play of his own accord, but I wonder if I offered to like let him stay for free, if I paid for like the room, if he would fly over. Probably it's just too expensive to even fly, you know, but he's one of my favorite people. But he's really he doesn't open up that much that easily. He's funny though. I learned a lot from Alex. You incorporate the things you learn from the great players that you get to play against. He's one of the few people that I would room with at a chess tournament, honestly. He's a good roommate. I was telling the joke yesterday, Uber driver, you weren't here, but when I stayed with Alex Ivanov in Philly one time, he and I had to play in like the third round, and I was naturally lower rated, and he was pissed that I drew, and he wouldn't talk to me for like 24 hours. It was so funny. He's so childish, you know. I mean, we're staying together. It was a fighting game. It was a draw, and he's like, he literally wouldn't talk to me. Like I don't know, you know, I said something bad about his mom or something. It was so funny. He's so competitive. Then it wore off, you know, like after the next round or whatever, but for like a 24-hour period, there was no communication. Like I personally insulted him by not losing to him or something. Yeah, he's actually not that strong of a blitz player for a GM. Not surprisingly. I mean, he gets in time pressure a lot, but he's not bad, you know. He beat more people in his time pressure than beat him. Mostly people would freak out. But that was in the days before increment, you know. Now it's different. He's a good person, though. Okay, pawn to f6. Pawn to f6. Pawn to f6. Pawn to. But that's your pawn structure, bro. Bad pawn structure. Fatal. Fatal pawn structure overdose. You've had a fatal pawn structure overdose. Now what? What's your next step? The first thing you do after a fatal pawn structure overdose, call 911. I want to play knight c4, but knight e4 is okay. I mean, this is simple and strong. Simple and strong. Yeah, f6 is just crazy, crazy. Come on, we got challenges from Ultimate Soul, Sumaher, and Carlsen Magnus. I respect Carlsen Magnus now more than ever. I really started to like him. The new Carlsen Magnus. He's one of the good guys. Bishop h3. Oof. This is kind of cheap, a cheap and direct way to do it. The e5 is the Morales square. Okay, how much time do we have left? I have another half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. We should be able to take 2 or 3 more challenges. Oh no. Okay, rook, pawn, and bishop for the queen. Just to be fancy. But objectively, that's not correct. I could sacrifice the queen there. But why be fancy? It's a bad, I'm making a bad, you know, bad influence. I don't want to be a bad influence on others. Check. Yeah, I mean, I probably didn't play this. I probably could have sacked my queen. Probably is not a word. Probably. You know, I was telling one of my students the other day, you know, pawns like this, it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't have to take that. It doesn't matter, really. Pawns like us. Yeah, maybe bishop f4. He could sack the exchange. He really will definitely sack the exchange there. Just coordinate. Just do it. Whatever, man. I know. The sieve. If I had more time, I would have calculated more forcing variations with bishop takes e6, but it's just kind of vague. I don't think the pawn's going anywhere. Yeah, you see everything. Oh, tricky. Tricky, tricky. So what about, let's say, the old bishop f4? Obviously. Rook takes, pawn takes. He has to sack the exchange. Hi, William. William. I lose but time again. William. Look at that. Dark squares. He has the dark squares, I have the light squares. You lose but time again, William. I don't like c4 93 in my face. But I could always like, oh my god, I'm down a pawn. So if I sacrifice the exchange back for a pawn, we have equal material. Wow. He really has this c4. That's not nice. He also has the rook h4. I can meet that with h3 though. So let's say like rook d1, c4. He does have problems with the e6 pawn, for real now. But I feel like I should probably like avert that. Let's not, you know, okay, he can play b5, but whatever. Let's stop c4, because it's just annoying. You know, he gets in there, it's like no getting him out without like sacrificing a rook for it. Fred has a move, b3, double exclamation point. Strong and subtle. Knight g4, oh my god. Yeah, I mean, no, that's not happening. That is not happening, dude. I have to go back. Knight g4 is ultraviolet. Ultraviolet! Yeah. This is the only way I protect h2. He's a tricky guy. What do you mean, how does this stop c4? What do you mean, I'm taking it? How does it stop c4? It's not about stopping c4, it's about stopping him from having an outpost at d3. You know, that's the point. A stop post. You think our opponent is kind of a combative guy. Psycho attacker. Bishop c5 doesn't worry you. Here we go with the spoilers again. Now it worries me. But you can't just like, you know, sacrifice pieces for nothing. It's illegal at the moment. He has to play c4, then pawn takes, bishop c5 check, king h1, knight takes, queen takes, e6 check, king h8, queen e8 check, rook f8. Maybe a different move. Yes. I can also play b4 at this point, if necessary. Yeah. c4, b4, knight d3. His knight's hanging on g4. He has bishop c5 check anyway. Ooh, that's kind of kinky. Why f3 instead of h3? Because my f2 is hanging. But, you know, maybe Uberdriver's right. Maybe there's some insanity here with like c4, bishop c5 check. Yeah, I don't think that works. That's a crazy move. There is a slight problem. Slight problem. I don't have to take it. Wow, this is like almost Connect 5. Connect 4! No, they're all opposite. You gotta have the same color pieces for the Connect 5. I wonder if he had c4 there. There's no back rank mate. White is up a little too much material here. Our opponent also has a shortage of checks. Minor shortage of checks. I wonder, connect 6. Was he ever really? Did he ever really have anything here? No. The best position was like the best position got was after rook takes f4. b3 is question mark though. Apparently. I should have just played knight g3 directly. I have to say, like, I didn't realize how serious that threat was. So if he plays like c4, no, it's, I don't know, man. Knight g3 question mark, really? Oh my god, I'm supposed to play knight to g5. Wow, that's crazy. Alright, anyway, it was too crazy. One join request from Carlson Magnus. Alright guys. Ultimate Soul? Soul? Who is this? You just have rapid games? Alright. You don't win all your games, right? Human. That's not Ultimate Solar. You already played Solar. Soul or Solar? I like Morozevich. He's creative. WJ Luke, good morning. I might have ripped on a particular game he played or something. But I definitely have respect more for players that are on the creative side. Oh. Yeah, that was a great game. That was a classical Sicilian. What am I going to play? I was trying to do the Goring Gambit. Funny and instructive. Structive. I'm learning how to play gambits. Building gambit repertoire. The elephant. Elephant is my favorite gambit. Elephants never forget. I was looking at statistics, right? It's Harry Lyman Gambit reversed. You know, you always think of like, hey, the Latvian Gambit is like considered to be like a real Gambit or something. But like, the Elephant Gambit's better than Latvian. I mean, it's no doubt. Latvian is like totally unsound. Virtually completely unsound. Virtually completely. So what's the deal with this? I mean, castles. I know there's a game in the database in this position between some pretty good players. I can't remember who it was. Like reasonable grandmasters. At least one has reached this position. LL Bean outlet store. Wait a minute. So it's one of those, like, if I play e5, you play d5. Right. I get that. I had a very similar game recently, though. I mean, white can play knight to d5. Knight to d5, knight d5, pawn d5. Pawn to d5. Then obviously there's the possibility of bishop g5. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, g5. Knight to g5, h to g5, bishop to hg5. He could even play like bishop e7. No, I think Magnus has midlife crisis for good reason. I don't know what his life is, what his goal in life is. Poor Magnus, you know. What do you do now if you're Magnus? He's lost his way. It's hard, man. I mean, you're like the best chess player in the world for 10 years, and you're still very young. And you devoted your entire life to chess, and now it's like boring. He doesn't know what to do, you know. It's understandable. Should I spend the rest of my life just playing chess, doing the same thing, or... Yeah, he could become a lawyer. Now, I don't know what his other interests are. I know he likes football. I mean, I'm glad that he's like making a clown out of Hans, though, because he's like legally bound not to talk due to the big deal between Chess24 and... I mean, I guess that's why he never makes an open statement about it. He's just not allowed legally. I mean, he could, but he would like jeopardize his contract with Chess24 or whatever, the Magnus Group. I don't know. You know, he's got these legal restrictions contractually. So I think he's trying to just not... He's trying to make a statement without actually making a statement, you know? I mean, that's what he's doing. You can make a statement without literally making a verbal statement, you know? He's saying Hans is a cheater, but he's saying it without actually saying it, you know? That's the point. I mean, they can't like really prevent him from doing that. Did you see Hans's game against Aronian? That's really suspicious. That he played now. Totally looks like he played a perfect computer game. Knight takes e4. I can't believe that black can do this. This is crazy. This is crazy. So now, I guess queen d3. I want to play queen to d3. Why do I want to play queen to d3? Why not? Dude, I mean, it's just a matter of money. He's not, gonna. He can talk if he wants to, but he'll have some kind of problem legally with his contracts and whatever. He can do what he wants to do. He has obligations to Chess24 and the Magnus Group, whatever, and their deal with Cheese.com. Right, but I mean, if rich people didn't care about getting more rich, the world would be a very different place. It seems different when you have like $9 million in the bank, or whatever he has in the bank. I mean, to us, it's like we would just do anything, but it's never enough. Like when you have like 50 mil in the bank, you're like, I don't know if I want to like blow 10 mil, There's also the factor that it's more than just money. I mean, he has other people like counting on him, his friends who are involved with his company. He's gonna like screw up a deal that would screw up a deal for a lot of his friends. It's more than just money, I'm sure. There's people that are counting on him to make sure this chess.com deal goes through. I'm sure money is like part of it, but there's also, his friends that he brought on over the years to the Magnus Group. If he screws up the deal, he messes it up for everybody. There's controversy, but no, I don't think so. MC Hammer in 6 months? Damn, dude. I saw this article yesterday about this place where rich people go to like spend ridiculous money on obscure items. Damn, dude. MC Hammer. What am I gonna do? Where's the mate? I had a beautiful mate today. I got me a beautiful mate today. We need more. I mean, isn't he like losing a piece on the queen side? Got me a piece on the queen side. How does that work? Knight takes b4 and queen g6? Oh. Well, the last time I did like bishop takes h6, I like lost a piece, and I suspected my opponent was a computer. This is very similar. I don't suspect this player being a computer, but I'm just saying I could do the same kind of dumb tactic that doesn't work. Black is obviously lost now. Simply a3. The Goring Gambit is not that bad. You have to take it seriously. I didn't think it was serious, and I had some tough games against someone unsound. One move that's really annoying, Black can play queen e7 here. Honestly, I think it's kind of unnatural, but it's like almost a refutation. 3 queen e7. And there's just no easy way for white to handle it. It's just really weird, because you're threatening to get in d5. I looked at like bishop d3, d5. It's a strange move, but it looks like it kind of like kills the Goring Gambit. But that's not a move you would find, over the board if you didn't know theory. Queen e7 it almost feels like it violates fundamental principles, to be honest. The other way is just declining it with d5. Yeah, I mean d5, of course. Okay guys, we got time for another game. I'm gonna play Submeher or Not Good. Unleash the Beast. Unfortunately, his bishop controls the h3 square. Unbelievable, right? B4. The problem, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if anyone's really talked about it. Fabi, okay, maybe mention the other players in top 50 who are quote unquote known cheaters. Sure, I'm sure there are. We're talking about online cheaters. I think the problem in the chess world is that there's a huge disconnect between online chess and over the board chess. And this is a huge issue. I mean, they're different things, they're not the same thing, you know. I think that creates a lot of problems. There's no, like, you know, maybe we need an internet chess, World Chess Federation, you know, or something like that. I mean, the poker world has a lot of problems with people cheating. You know, how to deal with these, like, cheaters in poker, trying to create, like, a massive blacklist. There's been a lot of debate about it in poker. Giving them a clean slate, a second chance, stuff like that. But I think the problems really arise from the fact that there's this disconnect with online chess and over-the-board chess. They're not connected. You know, there's no way to connect them. So absolutely, if Fabi says that, of course, you know, this is a no-brainer. Of course, like, Hans Niemann is not the only player among top players to cheat in online chess, but he's certainly the most high-profile one. But it's a good point by Fabiano that there are others. But, you know, it doesn't really fundamentally change the situation. It's not a one-off. You know, we need to deal with it in general, not just Hans, but the whole basic premise of cheating as a whole, you know. I mean, I would bet any dollar I have in the bank that Hans is not the only top player who cheats in online chess. I mean, it's like a better chance than there are, you know, extraterrestrials in the universe, for sure. Almost like mathematically impossible that there isn't, you know, more than one other top player. All right, Sumeher. Blacklist of chess cheaters. Yeah, that's what there should be. Enforcing it is going to be very tricky business, though, and that's been the case with poker too. Whose job is it to enforce it? You know, is it chess.com? Who put chess.com in charge of online chess? You know, what we need is like an online chess federation. FIDE is corrupt. You know, I don't like the idea of a private for-profit site. That's very bad, right? Chess.com, for-profit site, deciding who's a cheater and who's not. You know, you need like an independent body, really, ideally. Independent Solar. Independent Solar. Zumaher, are you here? Last game for today. Oh, I'm white. I go first. I'm sorry, I forgot. No, this is going to be an ongoing problem. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Good to see you, WJ Luke. Take care. But I'm glad that, you know, at least it's getting out in the open, that it's going to be a debate about this. It was just a matter of time, really. I mean, this is unavoidable. This is going to be ongoing. Online chess is a serious problem, and I don't see any solution for it. Creating a blacklist or something like that. But I think the bigger question is, like, you know, detecting cheating. How do you do it? You know, it's maybe Hans was like stupid about it. You know, I'm sure there's people that have been a lot more careful that haven't gotten caught. To be honest. I think if you're really pro at cheating, it's very hard to detect you. Probably Hans was maybe a little too blatant in the past. Maybe greedy. I don't know, man. He was caught multiple times, apparently, on Chess.com. Not surprising, but, you know, also kind of dumb. But people, especially kids, do dumb things. My concern is the people that are really, really pro at cheating. It's going to be almost impossible to prove who's cheating and who's not cheating at some point, you know. And that's ultimately the question of the future of online chess, you know. Can you have online chess for money? Because at some point it's going to be virtually impossible to determine who's cheating and who's not cheating. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Like, I was thinking, like, they could eventually, and this is like far in the future, but you know, you would think, like, okay, maybe the solution is like AI could catch people from cheating. You know, you need like some advanced technology at some point. You're gonna need artificial intelligence to be able to determine who's cheating and who's not cheating. You know, in arms race and in cheating detection. But we're like way behind, man. I mean, it seems like I couldn't possibly definitively tell who's cheating and who's not cheating. But I would never play an online tournament for money. I mean, it's just, forget about it. If they want to have this kind of thing, like, where it's like a hybrid, where, you know, they're playing on the camera or whatever, that's dumb. Honestly, it's dumb. You know, you got to have the players at a place where they can be monitored. They maybe don't have to be in the same place, but, you know, they have to be monitored by an outside arbiter or something. I wouldn't trust anybody, man. Especially when there's money involved. Fame is enough, but money involved? This is like the fundamental problem for online chess, and I don't know how it's going to get resolved. Obviously, like, people like murder and kill all the time for money, so cheating in chess is not a big deal compared to that. But I think for a player like Hans, it's not surprising. If you're young, you had this meteoric rise to improving. You never put in the years, the time that I have. I devoted 35 years of my life to chess. Why would I cheat after devoting 35 years of my life to chess? He's devoted, like, you know, 6 years of his life to chess or something. I mean, it's not even comparable. You're still curious as to who helped, well, helped him cheat? I'm not sure people need people to help them cheat, or maybe they have. But I mean, the camera thing is a joke, you know. That doesn't stop anything. It's honestly, having a webcam showing your face, well, what the hell does that do? It doesn't stop you from cheating. It's like ridiculous. Rook e5 is a good try. I could make a list of like 10 ways you could cheat while you're sitting there on your webcam. It's just completely meaningless, you know. There was the guy on chess.com who got caught cheating, Petrosian Tigran. He denies it, of course, and some people even supported him, but how would they know, you know? If they weren't there with him, they're just vouching for his great honor. You can't have online chess for money. It's for assuring the plebes, yeah. Yeah, it makes it, well, maybe like dumb sponsors who don't know any better. You know, if your company is like sponsoring a chess online tournament and you're kind of a noob, you might not stop to think about it. You're just, you know, you're just a sponsor. You don't really understand chess or anything. But the truth is, yeah, I mean, Magnus is sick of it, you know, and I don't blame him. I'm sure this is not the first time he's had to think about whether or not his opponents are cheating. It's obviously got to be an ongoing struggle. I mean, I'm like annoyed by it just streaming online. I'm not even playing for money, and it drives me crazy, you know, wondering whether people are cheating all the time. Right. I mean, but that's, if you happen to get a bad operator, that's funny. Yeah, you sometimes get that. People that are like noob cheaters who actually lose on time. I've reported people I've beaten before. I'm like, hey, here's this game I played against this guy. I won, but only because he was like incompetent as a cheater. That's totally happened. But the future of chess, if it's online, you know, this has to be dealt with. And it looks like a very difficult problem. Nice job by Sumer here. Sacking the exchange. But hard to make progress for me. I'm going to have to really work here. My last game for today, guys. Gotta go. He avoids the rook exchange. Yeah, very important. My rooks are kind of redundant. And it's typical when you're down the exchange, you want to keep the lone rook on the board. Good point, Uber Driver. Very good point. Very fundamental, important. Defending down the exchange, you always want to try to keep that single rook on the board. I can rampage with my lone rook if he allows a rook exchange. Rampaging elephant. Are you relevant? I mean, I get bored of talking about cheating, but now since this is a big deal, people used to give me a hard time. Oh, you talk about it, it's cheating. Now it's all the fashion, right? Right. Master is gonna see that move. We've got to change our focus. Focus. There it is. A5. He found it. Really don't want you to trade. I really don't want you to trade, but I don't know if I can stop you. And the problem is, like, if I sack back the exchange at some point, he's going to have, like, bishop versus knight. So it's not going to be so easy, even if I have a better pawn structure. This is really annoying. I was talking about it before it was cool. Yeah, I'm the first one. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. We can sack the exchange, like on c6, and go into an ending a pawn up, for example. Is it enough to win, though? Not necessarily. A good bishop and a pawn down. Black might be able to hold. You will not do that. So what are you going to do? Rook c2. Hey, all my stuff is on white squares. Does that make his dark square bishop bad? Bad bishop. This is hard to win. Easy for a computer, probably. I've also got to watch the skewer. I think I've got that, though, huh? We got that. Here? Give me that! You will give me pawn. Give me pawn. I dare you to play c4. I dared him to play c4, and he did it. Knight b6, pawn takes b3. Knight takes c8. Oh no. Knight b6, pawn takes b3, knight takes c8, pawn takes c2, knight takes c7. I mean, I can play pawn takes pawn, but I feel like this is even cooler. Maybe not. Maybe it really isn't even a better move. I don't know objectively, but we're probably winning it. Oh no. Yeah, man, I mean, it's like ridiculous how easy it is to cheat. It's absurd. But if you have a earpiece in the inner ear, like a small earpiece that's not visible on the camera, and someone else just sends the moves to you, boy, that's difficult to organize, huh? Here, show me the inside of your ear before the game starts. What if there's another monitor, like, in your line of vision, just showing the engine moves? I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. It's not even like a question. You might as well not even have the cameras, because it doesn't do anything. The only way to prevent people from cheating is to have someone watch them, you know, physically a human being watch them. And then there's the issue of the arbiter or moderator could also be paid off to cheat, you know. So it's hard to imagine online chess, you know, ever really being viable as a competitive sport. Ultimately, you have to go to a place where, you know, you can play that's local to you and be supervised. It's the only solution. I don't see how you can play from your home and it be legit. Alright guys, good games today. I think we were undefeated. We're going to be back on Sunday. It's going to be a good day today. Good feeling, good vibes, as they say. Vibes are very, very popular. Especially for Hans. But seriously, I can't play any more games today. I gotta go, guys. Off to work. Work and play. And we'll be back on Sunday with the 25 board simul. 6:30 entry begins on Sunday for my classical simul's. I think we lost Sumaher. He's had enough. But I want to look, before we leave, I'll just check the position where you sacrifice the exchange to see how much compensation you have there. Uber driver, come on. Uber driver suggested bishop a3. Apparently he was okay up until move 1395 and rook e5 loses. You gotta play the very awkward rook e6. Everybody's favorite move, right? Ugh, that looks ugly. I want to play f4 now. That is really not a happy looking move. Rook cc5, we were proud of this exchange attack, but apparently it just doesn't work. That was a question mark. So what did you have? Queen takes b2? You should have played queen g5. With this subtle threat. Subtle. Okay, queen g5, bishop takes c6, bishop takes h3. I don't know. Don't I have a rook here? That can't be right. You gotta take first. Take first. Forever hold your peace. And then you take on h3. That's a better try. But apparently my h3 was dubious. No one's ever played this before. g6. It's not that bad. Okay, now we do have one game. Yeah, I should have played bishop b5 apparently. I guess I didn't like bishop d7. But I suppose I have queen e2 check. That's a problem. Black would have to play king f8 there. If queen e2 check king f8, you're in really bad condition. I mean, I don't think you can play queen e7. Needless to say. Queen takes, king takes. Knight takes d5 check. King d6. This is crazy, right? That's totally insane. This isn't okay for black. I mean, you're clearly a pawn down with your king in the middle of the board. Okay, anyway guys, interesting experiment there. I will see everybody later on Sunday. Thanks for the games. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for your support. Cheaters suck. I will see you later. Cheaters never win. Bye-bye.